Welcome to the Halloween special. Let's meet our heroes of the adventure. Leading the investigation is Sherlock Holmes. His attributes include hard to put down, inspiring, monster expert and elementary. The last one meaning that he doesn't have to roll any checks on any clue markers. His sidekick, of course, is Dr. Watson, who's hard to put down and a medic. The supporting cast includes Inspector Chopper of the Yard. He, along with his little gang, are down from London to search for an escaped convict. His 2IC is Sergeant Dogsbody, who's obviously been eating too many pies, but he also carries a blunderbuss around with him. And 3 police constables, Alf Garnett, Bert Smith and Charlie Brown. They will all carry a truncheon, whistle and handcuffs. The whistle can be used to summon another Bobby to come and assist, and the handcuffs can be used to arrest somebody. Grunty Fen is a vast expanse of boggy moorland. There are a few areas of high ground of note, fen tor and bog tor. The fen is often shrouded in a dense fog. Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson are on the trail of Sir Harold Bogsville, and they're entering the table from Bogsville Manor direction at top right. Meanwhile, Inspector Chopper and the Bobbies will be coming from Frottage in the Fen and entering the moorland on turn 4. They're out to apprehend Desperate Stan, an escaped convict. They will of course assist Holmes and Watson whilst they're looking for Bogsville, and may well indeed get involved in taking on the Hound.
The game's afoot, Watson. Holmes and Watson enter the fen from the direction of Bogsville Manor, and they're following the trail of Sir Harold. However, the ground is tricky and no running across this fen. Any events on the first turn? An eerie howl echoes across the moorland. Terror check at -2. Holmes has a courage of +3, so he's on +1 for the roll. And Holmes is stunned. Watson is also a +1 because Holmes is inspiring. Might not be so inspired after that. The stalwart doctor shrugs it off. End of turn. Next activation, Holmes gets his act together, and Watson follow on. Any special event? It starts to drizzle, and that means there's no firing over 6 inches. This turn Watson will activate first, and he'll come up here, whilst Holmes moves towards the pumpkin clue marker. He's got the jack of spades. He finds some random swag from what looks to be the local village church. There's a silver crucifix necklace which will give the figure a +1 defence against the Hound for this scenario. Holmes will put that round his neck. Any events? Not this turn. Well, Holmes and Watson have got to make a decision here. They're following the trail, but it now splits. Footprints go off to the northwest here, the southwest here, and the south down here. I'll roll a dice. They'll go to the northwest. Holmes will be leading the way, following the footsteps, and Watson will keep close by. No monsters are active at the moment, so the Bobbies are on the scene, and here they come with Alf Garnett leading the way. Inspector Chopper next. Bert Smith, Charlie Brown, and Sergeant Dogsbody bringing up the rear with the beer and the gear. End of turn event. The Hound's call comes across the fen again. It's a terror check at -2 for the Bobbies, so it's a -1 for Alf out front. His courage is only +1, which is 4, and Alf Garnett is stunned. What about Chopper? He's on a net 0. He's okay. Bert Smith on -1, but he's okay. Charlie Brown, 2 becomes 1. He's collapsed. He can't handle it. I'll have to roll on the madness table. And finally, Sergeant Dogsbody, also -1. And the fat Bobby at the back is alright as well. So that's not a particularly good start to the Bobbies. They've only just come onto the moor and they've already got the willies. Next turn, Watson will move over here, and Holmes will move in to investigate the clue marker. Would you believe it? A discarded treasure box from Bogsville Manor. Now the character will need a task number of 15 to open unless they have elementary. Well, there we go. That's why Sherlock is checking all the clue markers so he can have a look inside. It's filled with gold coins. Add 1 power die to the pool. Again, no monsters activating just yet, so we're back to the Bobbies. Chopper will activate first. He'll go past Alf Garnet. Now it is Alf Garnet, and he needs to roll to see if he can get himself under control. Courage check at 14 required. Needs a 13 because of his own courage. And he's just about okay there. However, he'll remain shaken for the rest of the scenario. I guess he can move. Bert Smith. And finally Sergeant Dogsbody. Any events? No, because that's drizzle, and it's already drizzling. End of turn. Further north on the moor, Holmes and Watson are on the move. They're going to get up to that first tour. Inspector Chopper activates, and he's seeing something interesting on top of this little knoll. Queen of Spades. An old jagged knife. Treat all of the investigating figure's melee attacks with +1 melee for the rest of the scenario. Well, that's of course unless he's arresting Desperate Stan. Alf will move over here, followed by Bert and Dogsbody. End of turn event. A pack of 3 dark wolves appears on a random table edge. They'll move towards the nearest enemy. And unfortunately for the Bobbies, they've come up right behind them. End of turn. Holmes and Watson will get to the top of Fen Tor. Watson will again go for the lookout whilst Holmes moves in for the clue marker. 1, 2, 3, Tor 1, 4, 5, 6, Tor 2. It is Tor 2. The lair of the ne'er-do-well escaped from prison, Desperate Stan. Well, old Desperate Stan is startled by the intrusion into his hideout and will immediately go into attack with his axe. Desperate Stan is +1 melee and his axe will count as a heavy weapon. But that's a miss, and Holmes will strike back with his cane sword. He's +2 melee and damage will be done on the skill die. 13, 15, 7 points of damage. Old Desperate Stan didn't like that, and he'll have to back away. And I'm afraid over the other side of the moor, the dark wolves are on the prowl, and this chap here goes straight for Dogsbody. +1 melee. 11 is a miss. Dogsbody's defence is 12. And he'll strike back with his truncheon. +2 melee. 16 for 4 points of damage. Mr. Wolf will back away. But look out, Chopper. There's 2 wolves after you. +1. That's a miss. And old Inspector Chopper's got the rusty knife, and he'll strike back with +1 for that. And his own +2, so it's +3. Which is 16. Hit. 6 points of damage. Wolf backs away. Only to be replaced by another one. +1. 13, 14 for 8 points of damage. Inspector Chopper's health is only 11, so I think I'm going to have to do damage reduction there. I'll roll a skill die from the pool. Well, that's a good roll, reduces 5. And he'll strike back at +2 only because he's fatigued. And that's 5 damage on that wolf. Chopper going great guns here. Well, it's the Bobbies' turn to activate now. Sergeant Dogsbody's up first. He'll get his blunderbuss out and be on -2 because he's fatigued, and the blunderbuss is -1. And that blasts off into nowhere. Miss. Well, I guess he can reload. Bert's up now. He'll turn around and he'll engage this chap. +1 melee. That becomes 12. 10 points of damage. That wolf's had it. Chopper will pull out his revolver. He's going to be on -2 because of fatigue. And that's a miss. No requirement to reload, but he can't fire another shot. He will close to melee. And will be on +1 because of that jagged knife. 15. 7 points of damage. And that dark wolf has had enough. Gone. Last to activate is Alf. He'll turn around here, see what all the kerfuffle is, and just move over there. He'll give some support, and he doesn't have a ranged weapon, so that's him. End of turn event. More drizzle. No effect. Well, we're back over to Fen Tor. And Watson is first to activate. Unfortunately, no handcuffs for him, so he's just going to have to shoot Desperate Stan. +2. Well, it's a total of 21, it doesn't really matter, it's the 9 that counts, and that'll finish old Desperate Stan off. He bites the dust.
And a search amongst the rotten food and random items of swag reveals a silver candelabra. All melee attacks will now count as silver for Dr. Watson.
Through the gloom, Sherlock can see the other tour, and he can hear the Bobbies having a bit of bother with the wolves. They better go and help. This wolf's active again, going straight for Dog's body. +1. 12, which is just a hit. 1 point of damage. The fat Bobby will hit back with his truncheon. 9 becomes 11, that's a miss. Wolf will back away. Alf will activate now. He'll steam in. Now he is still shaken, so he's going to get a -1, which will cancel out his melee of +1, so he's net 0. And unsurprisingly misses. The wolf will hit back also with a net 0, which is 12, and that's a hit for 9 points of damage. Alf Garnet drops to 1 health, and I'm not going to risk a die on him. He'll stagger away. What a foolish Bobby. The dog's body is up now. I think it's blunderbuss time again. -2 because he's fatigued and he's using the blunderbuss. So that's 15, 8 points of damage, and that's blown the dark wolf to bits. Next to activate is Chopper. He'll move over here, followed by Bert. End of turn event. If not already found, the Hound will appear on top of a random tor with Sir Harold. Place Bogsville 8 inches away from the beast. He's trying to escape. Well, here's the Hound of Grunty Fen. He's on the top of Bog Tor. And old Bogsville is running for his life. Make haste, Watson. Rightio, Holmes. On my way. The supernatural Hound hears Holmes behind him and will move in for the kill. Can't quite make it though. Now we're back to the Bobbies. Inspector Chopper will go to the clue marker here. It's the King of Spades, the last one. Well, he's found some blood-soaked, discarded clothes. Now Sherlock Holmes will be able to work out that that was Sir Harold Bogsville's. Inspector Chopper will have to use his brain. And it's not working particularly well on the Fen tonight. No powered eye picked up there. The remainder of the Bobbies are on the move. Bert will go to Sir Harold Bogsville, sort him out. Dog's body, come round here, followed by Alf. End of turn event. Well, stumbling in the semi-darkness, all figures move 4 inches in a random direction. That's the end of turn. And first to activate is Dr. Watson. He's seen the Hound, will turn and fire with his revolver. Silver shot, +2 accuracy. 11, 13. Oh, just a hit. 7 points of damage. No need to reload, but he will close to melee. I almost forgot he's got the silver candelabra. +1 melee. But that's a dreadful miss. The Hound will strike back. +3 melee. Which is also a miss. Good job for Dr. Watson, who will back away. Now Holmes will activate. He's got his revolver and silver shot, so he'll open fire. +1. But that's a shocking miss from the consulting detective. I don't think he'll close to melee because he hasn't got a silver weapon. So now the Hound will activate and he'll go straight for Dr. Watson. +2 melee, slightly fatigued. 11 is a miss. Watson will strike back at net 0 with the candelabra. Also a miss. Hound backs away. And now it's the Bobbies. Inspector Chopper activates first. He's just within range and will fire with his revolver. -1 because he moved. 13 becomes 12. Oh, just a miss. The Hound's defence is 13. And now Dog's body will move in with his blunderbuss. Unfortunately, because of the drizzle, he's over 6 inches and can't quite see the Hound. The other two Bobbies will go and see if Sir Harold's okay. End of turn event. No event. Next turn, back over to Holmes and Watson. Holmes activates first and he'll fire with his revolver. +1. Again, another poor miss. And I think he'll stay there and let Watson move in for the attack. Dr. Watson swings his candelabra. 18, 19, but more importantly, 10 points of damage. The Hound is on 1 health. However, will strike back. +3. Which is 15 for 9 points of damage. Well, that's a massive hit on Watson. He is hard to put down, so I can roll one of the power dice twice. Well, 8 will be 4. Another 8, so that is 4 damage reduced. He's on 7 health. However, it's not over yet. The Hound has got Soul Shear. So that's a terror check with -9. His own courage is +2, and he's within 6 inches of Holmes. So it's just the -6. 15 becomes 9. Watson's distracted and backs away. -1 on all rolls until the end of next activation. Well, I'm afraid we all know what's happening now. The Hound moves in for the kill. +2 melee. 12, 14 is a hit. 3 damage. Watson's on 4 health. He'll take that and roll for Soul Shear. -3, but plus courage and Holmes is a net 0 roll. 11 actually becomes 10 because he's distracted, but that's distracted again, so I won't double tap him there. Of course, he can fight back. +1 melee, but he's fatigued and he's distracted, so it's -1. 14 becomes 13. The Hound of Grunty Fen's defence is 13. That's a hit. The silver candelabra has smashed him across his head. 7 damage. Old matey has gone. Well, can you believe it? Dr. Watson, a hero to the last, smashed the old Hound to pieces with the candelabra. Hound has gone. Sir Harold Bogsville has been rescued. Bobbies took a bit of a fright and got the willies up them, but they're okay. Unfortunately for them, they failed in their mission, which was to arrest desperate Stan. So Dr. Watson has to do a little bit of explaining as to why Stan has a bullet hole between his eyes. Anyway, great fun. Happy Halloween.